You are watching a visual film.
Yo, welcome back to the most dangerous YouTube show out there, R.N.S, aka Real Nigga Shit. I'm your hostess with the mostest king. I'm here with the panel. Y'all introduce yourselves.
It's your boy Cornell West, Fly Guy C West, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat. Holla at your boy.
What's up, it's your boy Hakeem.
Oh, that's it? You just go.
No social media. No,
Yeah,
no,
right here.
Don't at me.
At Snapchat, Instagram, iDay Juice.
We'll be down there, but it's all good.
And Stanley Jenkins, aka Tony Pearl. Y'all know me. We've been through this a few times. S.Jenkins03 on IG. Fuck with me.
Look us up. Today, we got a very special show. You already know what it is. We're going to bring up a whole bunch of topics from politicking to bitchy-ticking.
When you bitchy-ticking?
Here he go.
Bitchy-ticking when you politicking your bitches. We'll touch on that later on, man. Anywho, that word is patented. We're going to continue to move on, man. You know, we're going to tell it just exactly how it is. It's going to come from a brother's perspective, and we're going to always keep it 100. So with that being said, let's get started. So,
Get your feet wet.
a lot of y'all reached out to us on our R.N.S page on Facebook, and we actually got a question that I felt like needed to be addressed from one of our viewers. So, I'm not going to shout you out, but I know you watching, so we're going to go ahead and put the question out there.
Was it a male or a female?
It is a female viewer. Oh yeah, we have a lot of females who want us to discuss this subject, in fact.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go ahead and break it out. Anonymous Facebook female asks, why do black men who were raised by a single black mother grow up and disrespect black women?
We jumping it off with that.
We are jumping it off with
I said
that.
get your feet wet.
That's
This
a
nigga
$1 million
cannon-
question.
Boy, that you threw your whole body in.
Yeah, he cannonball.
Yeah, he in the 8 feet.
Sometimes you gotta jump right into their feet first. So when I first saw that question,
Yeah.
being a black man who was raised by a single mother, the first thing I asked myself was, what the fuck are you meeting your black men at?
Yeah.
Because my mother always taught me that respect goes a long way in life.
It does.
And that's not just respect for women, but respect for yourself,
Yeah.
respect for your parents, and the respect for your neighbors. So the first thing I said was, what the fuck are you talking about? I'm not gonna lie. When I first read your question, I said that shit. I let this shit be known, but then I got to thinking about a little deeper than what was beneath the surface, because you are correct. There are a lot of men in general who do disrespect women. Now, whether they're single mother raised or two family raised, in general, it really doesn't matter. But since you're specifically talking on the black community, let's go ahead and jump this thing off. I got a question for y'all. So the first thing is, how would a black mother raise their child, or what environment would he have to be in order to grow up to disrespect or hate black women?
What environment?
Yeah.
Environment. Well, first you have to acknowledge that a child can take things two different ways. Like, I could beat the hell out of my child whenever they act up, and they could learn to address all their issues with violence. Or it could curve their behavior of what they're doing. So it don't matter. Or I should say, it could be taken both ways, whatever environment it is. So, I don't know. Honestly, I really don't know.
I think it just really pertains on the parent. The parenting style, as far as can't reward bad behavior, but you also can't be a parent that's not ready to raise a kid either. You have to be responsible. You have to put that kid's needs and wants before you want to go kick it, even at a young age or this and that.
Right.
You just got to have different priority as far as like when you bring another life into the world.
Right.
That's just my opinion. So.
And you know, some mothers, they don't know what they're getting into when they have these kids. It is common.
And fathers too.
Fathers too. But we're talking about the single
It's,
mothers. We're
it's
talking
true,
about the
but
single black mothers.
it's no guide. It's not. There's no guide on parenting.
But just saying, this society now, or even 10 years ago, is there something that teaches or tells a man, a young male, on how to respect a woman, how to approach a woman, how to handle a woman.
You know, one thing I noticed, that a lot of people raise their children, and for some reason they have this disdain or this displeasure with the way that they were brought up, because they felt like maybe their parents were too strict. So they don't have those same guidelines with their children. So the disrespect actually starts at a young age, at that age where they say the terrible twos.
Yeah.
When you allow your children to kind of run around and do whatever it is that they want to do, all little Billy's pulling open the stove. Instead of saying, stop that, don't do that, don't touch that, that's hot. You just let them do it because, oh, he's a kid. Kids are gonna be kids.
You pulling open the stove?
Pulling open the stove.
But it's little Billy in the black community.
I mean, he might be, but just little Billy's just an example. You
Beat the hell out of little Billy.
Going to what you were saying, what I see a lot is, you see single black women, as far as their relationship, they treat their children like their
Boyfriends.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They dress their kids how they want their significant other to look like.
I wouldn't say all.
I'm not saying all, I'm just what I see.
What you've seen.
Yeah.
I'll give you that because I've seen that as well.
And see, like, I hate that what you just said, because I was always, as a kid, always told a kid should stay in the kid's place.
This is true.
So I see a lot of kids that act like adults, or they intervene in adult conversations. Like, we're talking right now, and all of a sudden I see this little punk-ass 12-year-olds interjecting in our conversation, and instead of saying, hold on, the adults are talking, they allow them to talk as if they're an adult.
To interject in the
But one thing that actually, I guess these younger kids more comfortable in doing that is social media. When we were younger, we didn't have social media. We didn't have access to all the stuff that's considered adult-like, unless it was happening in our homes
in real time.
In real time. So then your parents have the say-so to say, okay, well, you can't be in this room. Go in the next room and go play with your kids, or go play with your friends. It's not like that now. Everything that these kids are 7, 8 years old, got iPhones,
tablets,
and they don't have parental control on these devices.
Right.
So they got access to see everything that we see as adults.
Yeah.
So they see
they're more exposed at an early age than we are.
Exactly.
But that's a parenting flaw, because they have applications and blocks available to place on these devices, but the parents don't take the time to put them on there.
But it's all about knowledge. Our parents don't know about that.
So
these parents nowadays is in tune with all this technology stuff. They should be. But I wouldn't consider it a parenting flaw. It could be a parenting tool.
Okay. So I'm about to tell my age. When Sega came out with Mortal Kombat cartridge, my mother was very hesitant to buy me that game.
I was 16-bit too.
Because the 16-bit, because of the violence that she heard about the game.
Yeah.
So she went out and looked at it for herself, and she was like, I don't know if I want you playing
I don't know about this shit.
Yeah. But when she felt like, okay, you know what, he's responsible, when she bought me the game, she sat me down and said, this is not reality.
Yeah.
You don't go out there and put your hands on nobody. If I see you doing anything to anybody else, I'm gonna take this game, I'm gonna throw that motherfucker out, and I'm gonna beat your ass.
Yeah.
I don't see that happening these days because of the access. They're okay with the content of music they listen to, the games that they're playing, the social media stuff that they're getting into, world star hip hop stuff, the blogs, the reality TV shows. It's like like you said, they have access to everything, and I don't see them stepping in and saying enough is enough.
With me, my mom, that was never an issue. If I asked for something, she'd get it, I think with that being said, once something happens, or her expectation for me, she expects me to have that already, the expectation. You know what I'm saying? So my learning curve was if I fucked up.
Yeah.
When I fucked up, that's when she explained to me, hey, you did this wrong, this whatnot. Growing up, we never had that time where, hey, in life, or as you the child, I expect you to do this or not. When she taught me, or when she scolded me, is when I already fucked up.
Yeah. But even then, when she did scold you, you didn't go out there and disrespect her. You know what I'm saying? So,
Not purposely. Shit.
so,
Good point.
so
Good point.
does
It
that
wasn't
mean
intentional.
that this falls on the mother per se versus the child?
It's not. It's on the parent. I mean, even this question is pertaining to like single mothers, but is the father not in the picture at all?
That's-
even though he's not in a
That's
relationship
also
with.
key too.
That's
With,
the point, because what I like this fucking topic, because I like to bring up that there are a lot of motherfuckers out here that want to harp on single mothers not raising their kids, but it's just as bad to have a single mother struggling to raise a kid as it is to have a fucking absent father. You know what I'm saying?
Agreed.
It's like
Agreed.
nigga, you ain't got no say in the matter, because
Yeah.
he ain't even there.
Yeah,
You don't even have an opportunity to be a bad father.
yeah,
You just a ghost.
yeah.
Who is this nigga floating off in the wind? You know?
And just to kind of piggyback on that, the whole aspect of positive male role models, you know, I remember in high school, you know, we had a lot of kids that were being raised in a single parent home, and they didn't know who their fathers were, and they were just angry, so they would get into shit. And we had programs like Emoja, shout out to Emoja.
Man.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
went way
Yeah,
back
you
then.
way go back
But
with that.
these brothers would take time, and shout out to Brother Luther Perry. A lot of people don't know who that is,
Yeah,
but
we do.
Brother Perry used to take his time out to come out there with us, and he just wanted what was gonna motivate us. And I remember Brother Perry would say, "Hey, you know what? You get A's and B's, you supposed to do that anyway.
Yeah.
But I'm a businessman, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna make a contract. You get a B, I give you $10 for every B you get. But if you get an A, I give you $20 for every A you get."
Yeah.
And he came out there and he actually gave a fuck about what was going on. He wasn't none of our fathers, but he gave us an avenue to speak to, and also that reality check that we needed that we possibly weren't getting at home. Because sometimes a single mother may put all into it, but you have that anger inside you that a woman can't control, because it's hard for a woman to raise a man.
Yeah.
True, I agree with
You
that.
think it's possible?
It is. I think it is possible. You know, once that man hits manhood, your engines start moving on its own. You start to realize that, you know, once you realize your mother is sacrificing a lot for you, and it actually registers and kicks in that I shouldn't be doing this, and I want to step up and show her that I am the man that she wants me to be.
Right.
It is very much so possible.
See,
But you got to have that gear.
See, and I had this conversation with my wife the other day. How you can not have any positive role models, male role models at all, but it's still up to the child to decide. I have zero positive male role models, but I'm still gonna be better than all these motherfuckers.
Exactly.
And that was me personally. That was me. I don't remember growing up and having fucking married father of 3 in the home, with their kid. I was raised in the downtown projects. Didn't nobody have a father in the home?
You know what?
Your daddy not, that's annoying for me growing up.
You know what I'm saying?
It was different for me. I had my mom and pops in
Yeah.
the crib. It was different.
Yeah.
I mean, even though later in life they divorced and split, but they still, both mom and daddy still in my life, like to this day. So I didn't have that same experience as far as like a lot of people that grew up with a single mother or a single father.
Yeah.
I didn't have that experience because they was both involved in everything in all 5 of their kids' lives.
Yeah.
And you know what's a major factor in this Facebook anonymous sender? You got to understand that
You gonna say that name? It's gonna slip.
it's gonna slip maybe. Whenever, and I want all the ladies to tune
Johnny
in for
Walker
this.
kick in. That Johnny Walker kick in. It's coming down.
You have to be mindful of the type of relationships you expose your kid to, because they see that.
Yeah.
You got to remember that kids are learning, and in addition to what you teach them, they also learn from what they see.
Yeah.
So you bring home Thug Nigga A, and Thug Nigga A comes in with his pants sagging, and he slaps you on your ass around the kid, grabs you by your neck, calls you bitches and hoes. He may beat on you every once in a while. He can hear you getting piped down in the next room, and your kid loves you, so he feels like if that's what you attract, that's what I need to be like.
Yeah.
So guess who he tries to emulate? Because them the niggas you bringing
That
home.
nigga you chose.
So in a essence, he's actually becoming a product of his environment that you exposed him to.
So what they say about young kids, they're sponges.
The
Yeah,
sponges.
they soak
Everything in. Everything.
Yeah.
So we get to a point to where we try to pinpoint the male, right? And this is no excuse for any absentee fathers. If you have kids and you're not in their life, I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. You less than a man to
You're
me.
trash.
You
Period.
say less than a man?
Less than a man.
Less of a man.
3/5 of a human.
You less than a man. There's no
3/5?
excuse
Damn.
for it.
You went back to slavery.
No excuse for it. And that's
Ain't
coming
mean
from a
to.
nigga who ain't got no kids. Ain't no excuse for it. You less than a man.
Yeah.
I hope somebody cut your dick off.
How do you handle partners,
That was
good
hard.
friends, close associates, you know, niggas that you can kick it with that don't take care of their kids? Do
I
you
don't.
have conversations? Just
Don't.
eliminate that.
I don't.
Yeah.
I don't. Now, nigga, you laid down with her, she pushed out a baby, it's yours. That's just what it is,
And
nigga.
be
You
there
need
for
to
it.
handle your motherfucking business.
If the relationship didn't work out between you and her, that don't mean
That's it.
not being the kid's life.
So look here, it ain't shit in this motherfucking world that's gonna keep me away from Keelan, Lauren, and Reagan.
Amen.
You know what I'm
Kilo
saying?
Ray.
That's just what it is. Yeah, that's the nickname for the
Understandable.
that's the squad.
I feel that way too.
But
about my girl.
yeah, it ain't shit in this motherfucking world. Mount Everest can park its motherfucking self right there on Southwest Fort Worth, nigga. I'm gonna climb that motherfucker for my babies, and that's just what it is.
Yeah.
And ain't shit. And I feel like the nigga tell me, I ain't gonna put that nigga business out there. But oh shit, I sure ain't gonna put that nigga business out there.
We both take a swig
Let
on
me-
that.
I was about to
say
earn
this.
your ass out.
You better get your shit together, nigga. Let me say this.
Whoever you are.
If you ever start to think that you want your kids to step up and when they turn 16, you got to be the man in the house. It's your job. Stop that shit. Because as a parent, whether you're a single mother or not, the stress that you feel and put on that child, you're gonna force him to grow up sooner than what you think. And you actually may push him towards a life that wasn't meant for him. So if he see you struggling and you putting your struggles off on him, he gonna try to find a way to make sure y'all don't struggle no more. So where did he go? He gonna go down the street and holler at Sam, and Sam got that coke for him.
But you know what?
It has to be done in moderation. It has to be done in moderation as far as being
It has to.
Yeah.
It's a difference between teaching responsibility
That's what I was getting at.
and putting your burdens on your child.
This is true.
But you know what? What I see is they, you know, parents, especially, you know, black women, when it comes to the oldest child,
Other side of the jump.
especially a male, you're the man in the house.
You the man.
You take care of this.
Yeah.
And the repeating story that you hear from young males growing up is, I got to take care of the home. I got to, you know, make sure my mom's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's the norm. That's how I see it. Just my upbringing, you know, when I'm 16, 17, my father wasn't around, you know, so I've never had that, how you said, I never depended on my parent giving me money, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I see friends, they can always call their dad,
And get some joy out
yeah,
of them.
or get some money during a hard time. I ain't never had that luxury, you know what I'm saying? So growing up, I was always kind of jealous of niggas coming from a two-parent home, because I didn't have that, you know, and I was like, damn, y'all niggas are blessed.
But it even got to the point where I was in high school. I think when I was in high school, the separation and everything was already done. But Pops was still in our lives. And
Yeah.
Mama was taking care of everything at the crib, make sure me and Ron-C and the brothers, everybody was good. But then I got to the sophomore year, I was like, well, we're only getting a certain amount of money every week for lunch at school and if we wanted to do anything else. So I was like,
You
well,
gotta get it on your own.
I get it,
I
yeah.
went and got my first job,
Yeah.
and everything was straight taken care of at the crib, but anything extra that we wanted to do for going to basketball games, football games,
It's on you.
volleyball, going to the mall, just me and Ron C. I got my first check after that bi-weekly pay period. Like, mama, me and Ron C, we'll be good.
We good.
We straight.
And I think I did the same thing. I started working when I was 14.
You gotta take that initiative.
Yeah, man. And my first thing was, I can do for me now. You know what I'm saying? And that's all it was. I took that burden of me off of her.
Yeah.
You know. And I would ask her, hey, man, you need anything? She'd be like, no, you save your money. Put that money in the bank. Let me show you how to do this. Let me show you how to save.
And you went out and balled out, didn't you?
Nah.
Yeah, balled
You know
out.
what she would do? Hey, this is what she would do.
I didn't. I didn't
No
say
lie.
nothing
And
at
shout
that
out
age.
to my mama, Andy. Mama, I love you. I would get my check. She would take me, come get me from school to go get my check. She would then take me to the mall.
Yeah.
I would buy one shirt, polo. I would then.
You was that nigga in the
I
polo.
was that nigga.
We say the Old Navy. Like a mug.
I would buy my
Old
one
Navy
shirt.
everything.
01 ass.
Man. $10 polo shirt, $12 jeans, $30 bomber jackets. We good.
I put the rest of my money in the bank.
I ain't know about that shit.
In high school.
I ain't know about that shit. Hey, what's that?
What the fuck is that?
And it's still new.
Facts.
New now.
Yeah.
So let me ask y'all this then. So do y'all feel like that because of the situation, you know, you're already being raised by a single mother, and let's say someone is a victim of their environment where their mother is in detrimental relationships, she really doesn't, she's putting that burden on them like, I'm struggling, so you're just gonna have to wait to get whatever affection you need to get. Do you think that part of it is because they never learned how to love properly? So when they do grow up and get older and they do get with these women, they don't treat them, they treat them how they know how to treat women.
I think it's more of them not knowing. Like, not knowing. Like,
I agree.
Me, like, everything from then to now, everything that I do is from experience where I messed up at.
Yeah.
As far as relationship, you know, how to treat someone, you know, it's all from experience. I never had my dad ever talk to me about, like, shit, how to talk or how to handle a woman. You know how, like, the importance that would take you, you know, someone can actually give you their, especially your father, give you some one-on-one advice on how to talk to a woman, how to handle a woman. I ain't had that shit, so really, what you watch on TV, bro? Like, a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah.
Music, you know, so where you getting that shit from?
That
Yeah.
too.
So you want to emulate.
But even when I had both parents in the house, like my pops, he's not that type of father to sit down and have a conversation about certain stuff like you're talking about, as far as teach you how to. I just saw it as far as how he treated my mama.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he treated my mom with respect. Was never no issues. If there was any issues they had in their marriage,
You never saw it.
we wouldn't see it. Yeah, they'll talk about it whenever they get to away from the kids and this and that. But he's I don't hold it against him. That's just not in his character. He don't know how because he wasn't taught how.
Yeah.
So, but I don't hold that as far as like I got to take that on too.
Right.
And that's what's, I'm learning a lot of stuff as far as like fatherhood, as far as me being a father, having conversations with fathers that I can relate to, and learning through just different experiences. So even if you got two parents in the house, it don't automatically mean you're gonna turn out better or you're gonna make better decisions.
Right.
It just all depends on what you expose yourself to, the people you surround yourself with. If they on the same page as you, is trying to like be better and all that type of stuff, then rock with that. I just can't use that as a crutch as far as like it being, like not being taught and wrote down in a lesson as far as like that. I can't use that as a crutch.
See, and I can co-sign that one because I wasn't raised around married couples and shit like that. So, you know, coming up, bitches ain't shit but hoes and tricks. You know what I'm saying? And it took, I'm gonna be all the way 100 with you. It took for this nigga, my A1, to say, nigga, sit your ass down. Nigga. You gotta go when nigga sit your ass down. For me to sit my ass down. So, you know, it all goes down to boils down to what you've been exposed to and what you are being exposed to.
Yeah.
You know, because you can easily put all that old shit in the past.
True.
And address what we doing right now. So if a lot of these niggas that's out here blaming shit on black women or blaming shit on single mothers would expose themselves to the right motherfuckers that actually see the good in people, then they can have that view. But if you surround yourself with a bunch of niggas that's black women ain't shit, you know, single mothers ain't shit, then that's just the opinion that you're gonna have about motherfuckers.
And that goes back to even when you just had the reference about bitches ain't shit but hoes and tricks. That's just the music you was listening to.
Yeah.
But as you get older, you're like, who actually wants to deal with bitches?
Bitches.
Right.
Yeah. Who want to deal with hoes? And
Yeah.
niggas don't want to be tricks.
Give me a woman, give me a queen, give me a lady. Shout out to my wife.
So
Gotta put that quick shout
Yeah,
out.
you mean?
how do you break, as a single mother out there, raising a young black male? How do you break that cycle?
How do you break it?
How do you break that
You
cycle?
gotta be open to uncomfortable conversations. You gotta be open to like just pretty much being vulnerable and like talking about whatever issues and past situations, conversations you experienced to not hold that on. 'Cause if you hold it in and like take it to your kid gonna experience the same type of shit.
Yeah.
So even though at a young age, like we're saying, these kids are exposed to a lot of stuff at a young age.
Yeah.
You got to have these conversations with these kids at a young age now, because they seen it a lot earlier than we would see it.
Yeah.
And single black mothers out there, I want to talk to you for a second, and I also want to talk to this young lady who sent in that question.
What was her name?
Yeah. So her name Anonymous.
Anonymous.
First name Anna, last name Amos. So.
No Bobby Valentino.
No Bobby Valentino. So honestly, just keep it at 100 with you. When you raise your kid, you also have to own your shit. So if you do slip up and you do hook up with Ray, who like to beat on women, who live in that thug life, and you know you exposing your kid to that, at some point you need to sit your kid down and say, this man is not a man, and he's not the example for you.
He was a waste of fucking time.
And I do not want you to grow up and be like that.
Yeah.
You have to own that, because if you bypass it and say, I'm an adult, I can do what I want to do. Well,
But is that woman still in that situation with Ray?
I would hope she wouldn't be. I would hope she
Okay.
get out of that
Would be, yeah.
situation.
Because you can't have that conversation while you're still in
Why
it.
you
Why you
still
still
in
in
that
it? Yeah.
situation?
Then
That
you
is
just
true.
look like a motherfucking idiot to
Exactly,
your
like,
child.
That is
Yeah.
true. That is very much so true. So we don't want that to happen. It has to be a point where you take ownership and you figure out how to lead him not to be that way. And get out that fucking situation. Ain't no point in you sitting there.
But you know what, bro?
Easier said than done.
Yeah. it
I've
is.
seen so many fucked up shit. For instance, I've dated a woman, and she was raped by her mother's boyfriend. So that should have happened. Tell me why to this day the mom is still with the boyfriend.
Gracious.
Yeah.
And I've heard that shit several times. You know, like that's not one isolated issue. I've seen it like several times with multiple people. So I don't know. I think it may start with the mother. But how do we combat that? How do we change that?
Break the cycle. You got to break the cycle.
But see that, I've seen that, but that is about, just like with Precious, that is about a woman's relationship with her female child. That's just what it is. Because, I mean, let's face it, they grow up, they get little titties, they get little ass, they start looking like competition.
Yeah.
And to a crazy motherfucker, they are competition. They are no longer my child. They this bitch trying to fuck my man.
Why?
You know what I'm saying? And what's crazy is I've seen this shit, nigga. And it happens a lot.
So,
Fucked up.
one of the things I feel like a woman needs to do if they are in that situation is reach out. Don't be afraid to ask for help from your neighbor, maybe a school teacher. You got a father,
You done got on some
uncle,
Sesame Street shit
a
now.
brother.
Do you think they don't want to reach out because of shame or?
Yeah, I
No,
mean,
it's-
most people who are in that situation, they're embarrassed.
I think it's fear of once you expose whoever that, even if you don't expose that individual person by name,
Yeah.
it's fear that that person might go back and hurt your loved ones, your
loved
relatives,
ones.
and all that type of stuff. So, especially when they happen as a kid, like who would they be comfortable actually coming confiding to if they can't talk to their mama about it?
That's true.
Nobody.
That's truthful, but that's a product of their environment. So I want to kind of wrap this up by saying this. Anonymous user, Because I'm not gonna put your name out
You
there.
almost got that name.
It was close.
I was gonna put it
It
out
was
there.
close. I want to say this to you. Not all black men grow up to disrespect black women.
Nah, we
and
don't.
not all black men raised by single women grow up to disrespect black women.
Facts.
Agreed.
You have to know who you're dating and what you're dating for. And if the signs are there, pay attention to the signs.
Run, bitch, run.
How does he treat his mother? Have you met his mother? If you met his mother and he treats her like shit, imagine how he gonna treat you.
I don't even think that's even a direct correlation either, though.
I don't think so either.
Sometimes it is.
Sometimes, so even as a single mother, if your single mother was, say your mama was a drug addict,
Okay.
and she didn't know how to be a parent because she's a crackhead.
Okay.
So that means whatever results to when he get older, he gonna have the same type of feelings towards, because she's not actually being a parent. If she's like, that crack shit, like you gotta have
Like
that
she-
like on a regular.
She being
The
an
answer
open.
So you're
that-
not being a parent.
The
You're not
answer
being
to
a
that
parent.
is Athena Shakur. Because
Come on, man. It's one in a million.
nah, it ain't about 1 in a million.
But it is, though.
Even though you was a crack fiend, mama, you always was a black queen,
But that's,
mama.
but this is what I'm saying. Like just because that woman that raised that guy is not gonna automatically translate to. Even if he didn't respect his mother growing up,
Right.
he's gonna disrespect whoever he's gonna be with. Even if he has a kid or if he has a
Exactly.
daughter, this and that, it doesn't
Yeah.
automatically translate to that.
Yeah.
This depends on that individual and like I don't want to just keep this cycle going. You gotta like you gotta constantly break the cycle.
Oh, I agree with that wholeheartedly.
And that's key.
And that's gonna be key, is
You have
breaking
to,
the
cycle.
as an individual, you know, fuck whatever mama and daddy was doing. I mean,
Exactly.
yeah, it's cool and all for us to gain knowledge from parents, but at the same time, fuck what they doing. This is what I'm gonna do. And you make that choice, and that's what the fuck you gonna do, and that's just what it is.
So, I'm glad you said that. So, she actually, this user brought up another conversation that I kind of had with myself because this really stems from a lot of mental issues that comes along with what's going on with that child in that house. You
I'm
know,
gonna get drunk for this one.
and and you know,
pour
that
me a while
kid,
you
like
at
I
it,
said,
bro.
we're gonna use Ray Ray again. He's
tell me when.
around this environment. He has all this stuff
You
going
good.
on, and it really speaks to volumes of the mental capacity and health issues that we have in the black community.
Okay.
So, touching on that, I think that we as a black community have a problem with attacking or combating or even adjusting our mental issues that we have.
Or addressing.
Yeah, we don't address it at all, you know. And it's funny to me because when I hear people talk about therapy, and the first thing I used to hear was, "Oh, that's a white person thing. Black people
Yeah.
don't go to therapy."
Yep.
And then the other side to that is, as a black man, you're always told, "Oh, you're supposed to stay strong. Don't let nothing get to you. Don't show no emotion."
Yep.
And then on the flip side, as a black woman, they're being told, "Oh, you know, you're stronger than the black man.
You're supposed
You
to
gotta
tough
stay
through it."
strong. And you're stronger than the man, so you're supposed to outwork him. You never let a man outdo you." So here we are, mentally damaged in the community, and we do nothing to help solve that. So now I want to touch on the mental state of the black community and why do we have issues with addressing it?
It's a pride thing. in
Yeah,
my
pride.
opinion. It all just boils down to pride and not wanting to be vulnerable to people that you don't want to be vulnerable to. Of course, you can confide and talk about certain secrets, issues, and circumstances with whatever that situation may be, but
Yeah.
it just takes a lot of layers of trust to try to pull back and try to just confide in, just to get comfortable to have that conversation with somebody.
Yeah.
And just feel like that person's not gonna judge you
Yeah.
and look at you different or try to treat you like you're less than because
Yeah.
you experienced this.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't want to go through that and deal with it, especially if it's a situation that happened within the family. Like say for instance, like a rape, something like that. Many kids, whether it's a elementary kid, teenager, high school students, even early adults, they're not gonna actually just come out and just talk about it
Yeah.
just willingly because it's an embarrassing moment for them,
Yeah.
and they don't know who they can actually confide to, that can trust, that they can trust with that information, and if they want to remedy it and make it better, like who do they know that actually can trust with that information though?
And you know what's crazy? I watched the interview with Tisha Campbell not too long ago, and she was talking about how she was raped by her babysitter. And she said when she got the opportunity, she told her mother and her father, and you know, her father was upset. And you know, the father told her, you know, you never have to deal with him again. I'll handle it. And this person was a friend of the family, and the father didn't have this person arrested or anything like that. You know, he just kind of shooed him away. But this guy was still around the family,
I know you gotta get his ass.
and
Yeah.
nobody talked about it.
Now we ain't calling
She
him
told the father.
Told the father and the mother.
But that's the
Different
norm.
with my
Like
kids.
no one
Different with
talks
my
about
kids
it.
or any relatives in my family.
Now
Yeah,
you
that's
got,
what
you
fuck
got
you
to see.
Yeah,
It's
did.
a hold dub
nah, that
You better
ain't
pray
gonna
for
fly.
jail.
right out Riverside.
That ain't gonna fly.
It's a hold dub.
Yeah, you got to pray for jail.
Yeah.
But that's common in the black community.
Very
like,
common.
The number of rapes done in the black community by family members is alarming.
And he can still come to the barbecue.
Like it's nothing. They
Like
have to
nothing.
see
He can still
their
come to the
attackers
Like I told you,
everywhere.
the mom, the woman I was talking to, she didn't press no charges on the guy, on her boyfriend. The niggas still come to all the functions, all the family reunions.
Man, it was. I think yesterday I mentioned it. As far as like, there's a video I saw on Facebook where maybe a younger female was raped by a great uncle or uncle in the family. I don't know if it was in the Midwest somewhere, Chicago, St. Louis, somewhere around there. They rolled up on the great uncle or the guy, maybe in a grocery store. Somebody just walked by and just slapped him.
Yeah.
While somebody else was recording it.
Yeah.
Like, but y'all know that this guy actually raped, sexually assaulted
Yeah.
this person, and all y'all did was just
Slap him?
record him on video and slap him beside it and keep it moving.
Nah, it ain't that much shame.
That's not enough.
Yeah. You gonna have to. You gonna
That's
have to
not
see me
enough.
for real.
You know what's crazy? 90% of the jobs now offer some form of free therapy or free counseling for their employees and their extended families.
Yep.
And all they got to do is call a number. They could be anonymous just to get a little bit of help. And it's crazy that the low 2% number of people that actually reach out to that number, like, I feel like we grow up with so much bipolar and even at a young age, a 5-year-old with PTSD, never been to war, but has PTSD. They have panic attacks, they have anxiety. And the only thing you tell them to do is just pray about it.
Or cut that shit out.
That too.
Stop making that up.
Now,
As a parent, I experienced that with my young kid, and but she's a very, she thinks a lot, she talks a lot, but she just wants attention.
Yeah.
And it's a girl, so she's emotional. Anything you tell her no about,
She gonna cry.
all that.
Yeah.
But every time I get on my nerves, every time, because there's like no reason you should be crying. So I talk to her about it. I let her cry. Go in your room, cry, get it all out. I actually come back and talk to her about it. Like, you can't actually. If anytime I tell you no, it's not a reason for you to just
issue.
go to
Yeah.
the extreme and just start crying and just bawl your eyes out. Like, you just can't do that.
I got one the same way.
You can't. And it's hard to even like, and she's 3.5. She don't know any better.
She'll know no better.
Because she don't know how to control those emotions like that. So,
Do parents still read stories like The Boy That Cried Wolf? Is that still a thing?
No, it's called the uppercut. Nigga.
But I mean, you know, like going back to just the counseling stuff that's out there, man. I'm very particular about, you know, when I do speak to young boys and I listen to them talk, and I just hear some of the things that they went through. Like, I had one boy tell me, "Oh yeah, man, they shot up my house the other day.
Yeah.
Oh, it was Ray Ray in them, but it's cool. It happens all the time." You 4 years old.
Yeah.
Your house is getting shot up And you're okay with that.
You all right with that?
You know, that's something that you will hear from a war veteran, a Marine, an Army man. You know, you don't want to hear that from a 4-year-old man. And to keep him in that environment and not figure out, hey, is there something wrong? Are you okay? Are you scared?
It's the parenting. They want to stay in that product environment.
And it ain't even parenting. If we're talking about the mental health system, the things that are involved in getting a child mental health, nigga, you taking the JPS right now, JPS gonna tell you, we can't do nothing about it.
Exactly.
Because it's a fucking child. Either you take him to Cooks, they can be like, as far as mental health goes, nah, he ain't even done developing, so it ain't even at the point where we can start to adjust shit. You know what I'm saying? So now when you get to adulthood, then they got stuff in place. Take your ass to TSP over there at JPS and they'll get you together, or at least try to. But as far as a kid, they ain't gonna touch
So let me ask you something. How do we bring awareness to the communities to where we can get an uptick in mental healthness awareness?
No, fuck it, I'm gonna put it out there. I've been there. I've been on the 10th floor. Check the fuck in. You know what I'm talking about? And I think it's one of those things that you want to bring awareness. It's about having these types of conversations that we don't have. See how we just had a simple ass conversation about some shit? And fuck it, it's on camera, so whoever watching this is gonna learn some shit. It's about having these conversations that we don't have. We don't have, you know,
We're gonna have this conversation.
No, we don't have these types of conversations.
But and you never know who has the resources to probably try to help that.
That's true.
No.
But if you're not having the conversation, you don't know who can actually reach out and help you though.
It's true, because I had a direct plug.
And I think that we have to, as adults, let our children know that it's okay to talk to me about anything.
Yeah.
And
Any fucking
even with the children, you said it's okay. Let the children know that it's okay. Before then, I think there's a phobia in our community that, hey, we don't want to let the world know that our kid is off.
Yeah.
So, you know.
Yeah.
So we have a lot of pride, you know what I'm saying? So we don't want to touch it. We don't want people to be judgmental towards us.
Yeah.
I think that's a major setback on our people, you know, because you look at the other races, they are more open to talk about counseling.
Take you to therapist.
Yeah, you know, that's like,
Well, you white folks, they'll
It takes you to therapist.
But
check him in.
I think you just gotta get to the point where like you can't worry about what everybody else think.
yep.
Yeah.
Cause you worry like if this is your kid or this is your cousin or this is your sister, you know they need some kind of help. Why not just try to get some kind of help?
But as far as black people, we are our biggest stifle. True. Is the best way to put it.
True. Agreed.
Because I mean, let's be real. As soon as nigga you don't like, chick you don't like, that don't like you, find out some dirt about you, it's all over Facebook.
It's out there.
It's on Facebook, it's on Twitter, it's on YouTube, it's on everything. They want to tell your business. And we know that internally. We might not say that out loud, we know that internally. So we try to keep that shit inside, or at least inside this tight ass circle that we in.
So for instance, let me ask you a question. So, y'all with kids, if your child was unstable emotionally,
Okay.
what would you do? Would you discuss that with your peers? Would you just keep that inside and hope that it eventually goes away?
If my child?
Yeah.
First, in my opinion, it depends on the age of the child because they go through different stages and all that type of stuff. You get to about 12 or 13 and it's still like the same. Well, probably even before then. A lot of times before then. But if you just notice some kind of irregularity with your kid as far as like the normal pace that they should be at, a lot of times you want to address it with the school system, and a lot of times the school system don't even want to touch it.
Yeah.
Or it takes so much paperwork and so many processes to get it resolved. I don't know, just try to reach out for like outpatient or something.
You remember?
But see, I have a great story.
You got an LPC, if you know of an LPC certified counselor for clinical mental health.
See, that's the thing. I was blessed with the plug. Okay, I got the fucking plug. I know the nigga that know the nigga. So I'm sorry, Reagan. you're my baby, I love you, but I'm gonna put your business out there. Reagan flipped the fucking switch, nigga. Reagan was going hard in school. Reagan was going fucking hard, and it just came out of nowhere. And my wife was like, do we need to do something about it? I'm like, nah, it's just going through a phase, man. Just, chill out. She'll work her way through it.
How old was she then?
Oh, she was pre-K, so she was
4.
Yeah.
Okay.
But she was going hard. I mean, she was a happy-go-lucky baby, but she was going hard. Nigga, I'll tell you off camera, she was going hard. So, the school was kind of tripping and shit, but luckily my mother-in-law worked for FWISD, so she knew the way around all that shit, so she kind of got the plug in, and then she was like, we need to go to this play therapist, nigga.
Yeah.
Play therapy, and my ass, cause I'm a product of black people. I'm like, we don't need no motherfucking therapy, nigga. What the fuck they gonna do? Nigga, 6 weeks in therapy, nigga, she was straight. She was
Beautiful
straight.
thing, ain't it?
And that's all it was. So, and that turned my opinion of therapy off, nigga. It was like,
What was as far as like, was it like a behavioral issue, or was it like as far as like?
it was a behavioral issue.
Okay.
I ain't gonna tell you what it was.
That's
Sorry,
cool.
Reagan.
It's understandable.
But yeah, she was going hard though.
You remember back in the
I
gap
was impressed.
where every kid that was hyperactive in the ghetto was put on Ritalin?
Nigga,
And how many parents,
I don't want to go back to those days.
man, and how many parents didn't check to see what the fuck was really wrong with their kid?
Yep.
Like I don't want to experience that again, where that fucked our community up because
Well,
we had a
we
lot of
putting everybody
zombies
on
running
dope.
around.
But even in those situations, were those parents like in a position to get those kids like the proper care, proper assessments, proper diagnosis, all that type of stuff?
I don't think they understood it enough, or was it was already bad enough that the kid was on Ritalin. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Or even back then, like the whole process and stuff is way more advanced now, than
yeah.
it was then.
Oh,
Back
yeah.
then, it was like, if your kid can't do this, perform this certain kind of way,
Just give 'em
special
EP.
ed.
And
But
back then,
That's
we didn't know.
automatic assumption.
Right.
We didn't know.
Diagnosis.
I think, but that becomes an education problem, because for me, I'm not gonna allow my kid to take something that I personally didn't research and find out what the fuck it was.
But
you
everyone doesn't think like you, though.
Right, you are a product of your times.
True.
You understand now today that
True.
the pharmaceutical company is just trying to push pills.
Push pills.
A lot of
Back
times,
then, we didn't know that.
We didn't know.
a lot
Everybody,
of
That's what I'm
times,
saying.
you take your child to the doctor, and the doctor say, "Hey, this is wrong. This is what the child needs to take." You're like, okay.
But we noticed in the community that this medication, everyone had one common denominator. This shit slows my child down
Nigga.
to zombie-like states.
Nigga.
And they still would tell him, take these pills.
Yep.
But what if the results of the child taking the pills was better than the child not taking the pills?
It's a difference. Maybe he needed that medication.
But I'm saying as far as like the parents weren't in the situation, even though going off that diagnosis that the school gave the kid for the kid, the parent didn't go and get a second opinion, or probably didn't
Yeah.
have the resources to go out and
To
reach
go out and
out
get the second
to
opinion.
see,
Oh, yeah.
or even pay for it. Maybe she didn't have
Oh, yeah.
the insurance or whatever that'll cover it.
Oh yeah, because we know how it is.
So you got to
man.
just actually deal with what the school is going to diagnose you and give you.
And I do think it goes back to putting more resources back into the poor communities.
Almost definitely.
And I mean that's just what it is. I mean, I'm an advocate for the celebrities donating their money, but the reality of it is, I would prefer someone, for example, instead of giving the $1 million to St. Jude's Hospital,
Yeah.
I would much rather you pay that $1 million and say, hey, this is my certified counselor, and she's gonna go to every school in your district, and she's gonna sit there for a month. And she's gonna be there for specialized therapy for troubled kids in your classes.
But the issue with that is getting people to be okay, because a parent has to sign on for their child to
It
sit
does.
down
It
with a
does.
therapist. And as we just discussed, nigga, we ain't on.
But even before that, a lot of these school districts don't even hire those type of counselors.
That's true. That's
School
true.
districts only, like mostly school
Yeah.
districts, they hire school counselors only.
Yeah.
So you can't get no LPC certified counselor to come
And
in
there
and do that
is
kind of work.
one in DFW, or I should say in FWISD. but you got to know the
Cup,
plug.
my brother.
If you don't know the plug, your principal
You don't
got to
get
make that call. And if your principal is just on this discipline shit, he ain't worried about the mental health shit, he ain't gonna make that call. Or she ain't gonna make that call.
You know what? And thank you for bringing up discipline, because on the flip side to that, a lot of these kids who do have mental health issues and actually need treatment, some of these parents kind of go to the extreme, thinking that disciplining their children
Thinking you beat the hell out of him.
is gonna solve their problem.
No, it's
Well, I
not.
beat his ass. He should be good now.
No, that ain't how it works.
You gotta talk about it.
Got to talk about it.
Yeah, you gotta have that conversation.
Got to have
with
that conversation. I do think that this is a forum that, again, poor communities, we all need to have, because there has to be something out there where Betsy Price, mayor, should step up.
him. Put the title out.
I
You
did.
put the
I
title
named
out
her.
there.
Full word.
I feel like she needs to step up and do something for these communities. You know, they're shutting down the Stop Six Projects, which is one of the most gangest,
Genghis.
nigga, not
Genghis.
gangest.
Gangers.
Yeah, because Genghis Khan killed a lot of people, and it ain't just gang related.
Man.
It's more so the massacres that happen over there, and these children are exposed to it, and they see this every day, and those kids are gonna need help.
But that's every hood.
You think it's
This
just,
is true.
you think it is just a poor area?
I think poor areas
Or is
don't have
it-
the resources.
I think it's a
That's
policy.
exactly what it
They don't
is.
have the resources. You notice that there's more liquor stores, but the community centers are shutting down in those areas.
Yeah. More liquor stores, more gun shops popping up.
Whatever happened to the Boys and Girls Club?
It's still there.
What is it?
It's still out there.
It's still there. They just they don't get as many resources,
Yeah.
It's crazy.
as many sponsors.
I've heard Boys and Girls Club
In a
in a
long
long
time.
time.
But I do want to know that we are going to bring awareness to that, man. Mental health is very important no matter which community you're in. If your child is showing signs, please do something to get them help. So, fellas,
Even as not even just limited to the kids, as adults.
as adults,
Shout
go
out-
get help.
Because some of you grown motherfuckers.
Shout out to Charlamagne the God. He always talk about mental health all the time.
Yes, sir.
So,
Shout out to
fellas,
CD the God.
I want to introduce y'all to a new segment called Tell It Like It Is.
Oh shit.
So, I'm going to read this post.
We need to take a shot
You
for
may
this
want to take a
shit.
shot. You may want to take a shot.
And be killing the rest
While
of
y'all
Hold on.
I'm gonna read this post that I saw on Facebook that's been circling around. This post went viral. It was posted by a LaWanda Collins.
Oh, he put names
He
out.
put the name out.
Because LaWanda Collins need to be told how it is today.
We saying names.
We saying
okay.
names.
You need to come to the show.
So she want the smoke.
She finna get the smoke whether she wanted it or
I
not.
got all the smoke.
So I'm gonna read this post. It says,
Hold on. Let me take a swig. Hold on.
it says, men don't get unconditional love is bullshit.
What?
Men, the statement that men don't get unconditional love is bullshit.
Johnny Walker strong.
Black men get nothing but unconditional love in the black community. Y'all are forgiven by women numerous times, taken back, carried by your woman's shoulders, whether it be your mama, your grandmama, your auntie, or your girl. Y'all can go to jail, lose your job, sell drugs, have 7 baby mamas, beat us, cheat, lie, steal, completely ruin a woman, and she will still be right there loving you to the best of her capabilities. I've yet to see a woman treated with the same unconditional love. We are only, and I repeat, we are only loved based upon what we provide. If we provide you sex, loyalty at home, forgiveness for your multiple fuck-ups, acceptance of your flaws, a job, food on the table, motherly characteristics, etc., only then we are loved. Yet, and still not unconditionally, because let us fuck another nigga or become lazy, not be conventional, etc. We get dogged, we're hoes, we aren't real women, we get the boot, we are no longer mass material. Women are not allowed to be human in matters of love. We must be perfect to be worth it, and that's bullshit. End
Like
quote.
she
Is
did it.
that's the end?
That's the end.
Biz, I'm through.
Tell it like it is.
Said she
Fuck
not
this
sound like
shit.
she's
I don't
mad.
Like it is.
Tell it like
Get
it
this
is.
mic off me.
How do you feel about that statement? Let's go. Stanley Jenkins.
No, I'm gonna go last. I'm gonna kick my leg
No,
up.
Listen,
I'm not touching
I'ma
no.
show you my pink socks.
No.
Y'all nigga take.
I'm not agreeing. No.
No, not agreeing. Tell her how you feel.
I don't feel no type of way.
Let me say this. LaWanda Collins, and I say this with the utmost due respect for you, you got like fucked up. First of all, don't blame black men for what you're going through. Because if black men did that to women in general, then black men will be the scum of the earth. You have 4 black men who are pillars in their community, who work hard, love their wives, love their children, and love their mates conditionally. There is no such thing as unconditional love. Let's be clear. It is hard to love something unconditionally.
That's where
if you want unconditional love, go get a fucking puppy. Because a puppy only knows how to do 1 or 2 things if you treat them right. They love you or they fucking hate you if you dog them out. If you're being dogged out by any man that you're dealing with, you may want to look in the mirror because that means you accept that bullshit. I do not understand how you can go to Facebook and talk about any man the way that you talk about men. I feel like your post was very egotistical. I feel like you're full of shit, and you're probably single. Therefore, set you up a Christian Mingle profile. Pray that Pastor Wilson in your
He
inbox.
went Super Saiyan.
Who's next?
Pastor Wilson?
He went Super Saiyan.
I tell you how I really feel.
He went Super Saiyan blue.
Let's go. He powered up.
Ain't no rebuttal.
He got a star. He got a superstar, nigga.
She sound like she bitter based on her experience, and those are the type of women you want to keep your woman away from.
But it's not geared towards all black men. It's like what you experience. So you can't
Her experience.
you can't generalize the all black men or that way.
But let me say this. You made a good point. I know we discussed this like a long time ago, but you did make a good point. None of you motherfuckers deserve unconditional love. None of us here deserve unconditional love.
Unconditional.
Unconditional, my child deserves unconditional love. Just because it's my child, right? We married. We understand we have responsibilities. If our responsibilities fall to the wayside, we gonna have issues. We gonna have shit that we need to address.
Agreed.
It's not unconditional. It's still conditional. My wife loves me. I love my wife. But I still understand I have to provide for my household.
That's condition.
It's conditioned. You know what I'm saying? That's just what it is. Don't nobody, none of you motherfuckers deserve unconditional.
None of you motherfuckers.
I love you and don't give a fuck about what you do.
But it's conditions to that shit.
It's conditions to that shit. It's always gonna be conditions to a person that you love, except your child. I'm sorry, but nigga, Keelan could shit in my cereal tomorrow morning. I'ma love him like it's gonna be nothing. You know what I'm saying?
It's gonna be a problem for
It's
that
gonna be an
time,
issue.
for that time, man, yeah.
But that's just what it is.
With that being said, I think that you may want to see the previous segment where we talk about mental health and go get your ass checked out. After that session, go get you a motherfucking Yorkie and he gonna love your ass unconditionally.
He gonna
If you
love
get
your
head
ass.
right, get your ass back on the dating scene because white, black, Hispanic, Asian, don't matter what the fuck it is. If they dating you, they probably gonna dog your ass out. Probably because you post shit like this on Facebook.
Facts.
But with that being said, that's our show. And always remember, a gentleman never kisses and tells.
And a gangster never fucks and snitch.
What?
Deuce the fuck up out here, LaWanda Collins. Fuck
He
off.
said her name again. That's fucked up.
She wanted to go viral, she viral.